Hey everyone, welcome to Guru Funnel Model number 4. This is the Frank Kern Survey Siphon. So I learned this from Frank kind of two ways. I actually got pulled into this funnel when he ran it in October of 2013. And then, shortly after that, going through this funnel, I actually signed up for one of his high-paid advisor consulting classes. And then he went in depth and trained on this in that course. So this funnel model actually accomplishes three goals in one. So the first is it allows you to get very in-depth insight into your market. You use that through the survey process in here, which I'll dive into a little bit in a moment. But essentially what you're able to do with that is ask your market questions about what they actually want to buy, which is the smartest way to put your products together. A lot of people that I work with, they have an idea of what they think their market wants, and then they go and they make a product on it, and then they try to sell it. That's actually the wrong way to do it. And so that's why Frank designed this model, was to actually find out what people wanted and how they wanted to receive the information, and then he would design his products and his funnels around that. The second goal that this allows you to do is to actually liquidate your traffic through the tripwire offer and the core product sales. And just like with all the other funnel models that I've been showing you, if you get the conversions right on those, you can actually be in the black quite a bit. We have some clients that right now are actually running 400% ROI in the black right on the front end with their information products, because the conversions are so good, and traffic on Facebook is very inexpensive still. So then the third thing that this allows you to do is it allows you to actually sell your high ticket stuff through a group setting, so you don't have to do individual strategy sessions necessarily. So you can sell on a webinar or a Google Hangout, and you can sell your high ticket products on there, or you can actually generate strategy sessions if you prefer to get people on the phone to be able to analyze and get into maybe some done for you services or consulting, things like that you can't really sell on a webinar. So let me walk you through basically how this works. So we start with an ad, and we're going to drive people to an opt-in page. And Frank uses a very simple opt-in page, and that's what I would recommend. Those actually end up converting quite a bit better than the more fancy ones. And after you opt in, there's two things that are going to happen here. The first is you're going to drop them into a 7-part email sequence, and that's going to drive people to additional training with a call to action to opt in for the webinar. Okay. Now, these 7 emails just address all this additional training, and it's one basic page where you have a more in-depth training that is going to pre-sell and pre-frame people for further training that you're going to do on the webinar. And so then you just use 7 emails to get people over to here. You stop this sequence once they actually opt in for the webinar. So all of this stuff is driving to one page where you're giving them this training, you're giving them great free content, and you're trying to get them to opt in for the webinar. Up here, you actually, once they opt in, you're going to redirect them to that survey. And so you can construct a survey. You can use SurveyMonkey. You could use a web form and your CRM, however you want to structure that. And that's where you gather the data that you want from your market. And so after they complete the survey, you want to redirect them over to a tripwire offer, which will be just an initial low ticket product, $7 to $47, that really ties into the theme of what you're doing here. So it's got to be congruent to the survey and what you're asking for from them in the survey. And then it's just an offer here that will really help your people, but also it turns those prospects into buyers really quickly. So you can use quite a few different products in there. It really depends on what you have in your arsenal. So if you've got something like an old product that you offered at a higher price than that, offering it here at a substantial discount is a really good strategy. Okay, so we covered these two parts right here. Now, after they opt in for the webinar, what you want to do down here is drive them into a core product offer in the $197 to $297 range. And so this is actually going to be something that enhances what they learn in here, but does not cannibalize what you're going to be offering in here. Okay, so you got to really think through what are you planning on teaching in your webinar and leading them into at the end of the webinar, and what do you have in your product arsenal that you can put in here. Now what Frank does is he actually, once he gets the survey stuff in, he doesn't trigger this until he's got enough survey data in, and then he'll create this product based off of the info that they want in the survey, and he puts it as a step before what they offer here. So what he wants to do is get people into this product, consuming this product right here, and it leads into what's going to be offered here. And that's what all of this stuff does down here, is it all leads into the main offer down here. So when you're putting this funnel together, I wouldn't actually create this product and trigger this email sequence yet until you've got the survey data in. Okay? So then that's going to help you determine what you do in this training here. It's going to help you determine what you're going to offer here. It's going to help you determine what you offer here. You'll want to structure this right away in the sequence, okay? Because that way you're driving people straight through here, and you can liquidate that traffic. And then that'll buy you some time quickly to create these sales messages and products here if you don't have something already that fits into place. Okay, so once they opt in for the webinar, then you're going to dump them into an indoctrination sequence. And if you opted in for this funnel, you actually got to see an example of an indoctrination sequence, which was the 5 videos that I had that led into the 17 Secrets product. So when people opted in on my main page, I dumped them into this indoctrination sequence, which is really just a way to kind of overcome objections, give people additional content, and develop rapport with them before they take the next step. So, you know, in my funnel, the next step was to buy the 17 Secrets product, but what you're going to do in this funnel is these indoctrinations sequence needs to be videos. So they're going to be, it's going to be a 5-part email sequence, and each email is just designed to tease the person, get them over to a page where you've got a video where you're going to deliver the content. And if you can be on video, it's by far the best strategy to take, because you want people to be able to see you, develop that rapport, develop that bond with you. And everything that you're going to be doing in these videos is pre-positioning them to get on the actual webinar. Okay, so you want to give them teaser content that really helps them, but is still a little bit incomplete, and then you lead them into the webinar. So, you know, your call to action would be, hey, look, you know, you teach them something, and then you give a call to action of, all right, now we're going to go in depth on how to do this, and you're going to learn X, Y, and Z on the webinar, so make sure you show up. Okay, and that's what this whole thing is designed for here. Then when you get them on the webinar, you teach your content, you really help them out, and then you have your call to action at the end, which if you're selling a product, it could be, you know, to go order a high-ticket product like Frank does. You may have seen his mass conversion promotion lately. That's what he's doing there. And then, or you could, if you need to sell over the phone, the call to action could be to apply for a strategy session, which Frank also does with this model. So that's the Frank Kern Survey Siphon. Go ahead, and if it's something you want to implement in your business, you can take a look at some of the example links below and then put it together and make some money.